Whatever, all this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter. Ride or die, that's been the deal. A lot of you back, I disappear. But if you don't play that for me, I'm out of it, I'm out of it. I lick my gun and then I'm done. I'm out of it, I'm out of it. Need an old man to tell me you're no good. I'm brushing away, do you, the weight of you. My shoulder, so done with my cigarette. And when all the smoke is clear, I'm brushing away. Do you, the weight, do you, the weight, do you? Don't need an old man. Go back where you came from, now you're bitter. Out of sight, out of mind for real. Yeah, I wouldn't wanna be you for real. But if you don't play that for me, I'm out of it, I'm out of it. I lick my gun and then I'm done. I'm out of it, I'm out of it. An old man to tell me you're no good. I'm brushing away, do you, the weight of you, of my shoulder. Done with my cigarette. And when all the smoke is clear, I'm brushing away. Do you, the weight, do you, the weight of you? Don't need an old man.
Good afternoon. I nearly started with my mic muted. How is it going? Why didn't Phoenix keep playing? It's just playing some random song now, which you'd probably get copyright struck for or something like that. But anyway, how is it going? Good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well. Oh, let's get rid of this idiot. There we go. Good start to the stream. We're blocking idiots already. We're all waiting for the Man City lineup. According to FPL Raptor, Haaland starts. I'm going to put that actually. I'll put the blame on him. To FPL Raptor, Haaland starts. There we go. So Haaland's locked in as captain. Early kickoff captain curse. I think basically what I've learned from this season is everyone doesn't want to captain the early kickoff unless it's Haaland. Then they'll just make excuses to why that's okay. So I don't think it's an issue. Chomp or fudge? Fudge. I do love a bit of fudge. I need to put some music on because it's weird streaming with no music in my ears. There we go. That's better. I've seen on Twitter that Haaland and Rodri starts. Rodri! Well, that's going to change everything. That might change everything. I got to be honest, right? I think Luke has pretty much done a very similar lineup. I don't think we're going to see many surprises today whatsoever. I think De Bruyne is going to start. I think Gundogan's going to start. I think Haaland, Mahrez, Diaz will probably start again. Maybe even Stones. I guess the only slight changes are, will Ake really start again straight away? Maybe. A lot of people saying Rico Lewis might start. Fair enough. Maybe Stones does get benched, but generally, I think most of the players we're looking for are going to start. I guess Grealish has got a chance to be benched over the next couple of games, but even that, you don't know for sure, right? I saw someone say you're missing the coronation. You're not missing the coronation. Well, you are missing the coronation, but is that not a good thing? There's no echo. There shouldn't be an echo anyway. How do your points versus last season? I actually don't know. But by the way, I'm not saying I know all those players start. I think those players will start. And the reason is, I think what Pep said about De Bruyne being similar to Ake, that kind of made me think he's going to start. But we'll see. I can't believe I didn't get an invite to the coronation either. I don't want to talk about that loads, though, to be honest. I know it's going to keep coming up. Like I said to Ben yesterday on Twitter, the only king that I will pledge allegiance to is the king of FPL, and that is Mo Salah. George, if Grealish is benched, sell Jota and Grealish to Bruno and Alvarez. Have enough to do Alvarez to Isak Wilson next week. But obviously, yes, but only if Alvarez starts. If Alvarez doesn't start, I would just go straight to the Newcastle player. I think, yes, I would do Grealish and Jota to Bruno and Newcastle. And if Grealish and Haaland do start, Jota to Isak sounds good. Yeah? Don't see an issue with that. Start Tony or Grealish. I would start Grealish unless we find out otherwise about him starting. Pranav, thank you very much for 8-month member. If he's benched, Grealish to Foden or play Watkins. I'd probably just play Watkins. Here's the thing, right? If you're going to sell Grealish to a different Man City midfielder, you're then in exactly the same position for next week where you're not sure who's going to start, apart from you're definitely not going to get early team news next week. So there's no issue with going from Grealish to a Foden. I actually really like that punt, but just know that in game week 36, you're not going to be sure if Foden's going to start, and so you might be forced into another move. So it's a bit like people going to Alvarez then to a Newcastle forward. It's exactly the same, right? If you go to Foden, you're probably going to a different player afterwards. No issue with it whatsoever, but I guess if you don't want to go to a Man City midfielder, you're really buying a Brighton midfielder or a Man United midfielder, or maybe I don't know, Salah or De Bruyne if he starts. I don't think there's too many players to go to be honest. Even Arsenal midfielders, I guess you could look at going back to an Arsenal midfielder, but no double game week. They've got Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Forest away, Wolves at home. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst call to go back to an Arsenal midfielder, to be honest with you. But I'd probably just go to a Man United one. Would you start Solanke or Jesus? Away to Newcastle, home to Chelsea. I think I'd start Solanke. Can't believe I'm saying that. Would I really do that? I think I'd start Solanke. I can't believe I just said that. Start Raya or Kepa. I would start Kepa. Start Trippier or Shaw. Because the thing is, when people talk about Raya and Kepa, the argument is, well, I'll just go Raya because Kepa's rubbish, and so Raya will get saves. But if Chelsea are that bad, surely Kepa will get saves as well against Bournemouth, but also has a better chance at a clean sheet. So I feel like the obvious answer is Kepa. If I had Raya and Kepa, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I would just start Kepa. Start Trippier or Shaw. Honestly, take your pick. I'm actually not on Luke Shaw right now. I think I actually switched it to... Yeah, I switched back to Trippier. I don't know, to be honest. I'm kind of going back and forth between the two. I don't have an answer for you right now. I feel like Man United probably a slightly higher chance of a clean sheet. If it was at home, I would definitely play Shaw. But Trippier's got that attacking threat as well. Could Newcastle keep Arsenal out? Probably unlikely. But you never know. But I'll tell you now, that could absolutely just be Shaw by half one. I'm really not... I don't know. It's one of those moves where I don't really think there's a right or a wrong, and I don't really have a good reason to go one way or the other. I wish I did. I wish I had a stronger opinion on it. Yeah, I mean, Man United have a 4% higher chance of a clean sheet according to Abdul. I mean, that's hardly anything, right? It's not like one's 25% and one's 50%. We're talking minimal difference, really. I'm quite tempted just to start Trippier for the higher attacking threat. Imagine if Newcastle keep Arsenal out and Isak scores a hat-trick. Not that he's going to score a hat-trick. Bench one out of these 5. March, McAllister, Solanke, Watkins, Grealish. Well, if Grealish starts, you can't bench him. So I'd probably bench... I don't know, out of those lot. Solanke maybe. Solanke or Watkins. I'd want to start my Brighton midfielders against Everton at home, I think. Actually, it'd be interesting to know if... It'd be interesting to know if Gabriel starts. I wonder if my guy already knows. Probably not. Probably a bit early for that. But obviously, Saliba's going to be out. Gabriel might be back. I suspect he will be, but... The only City team news that I've seen is from Raptor, and Raptor has said that Haaland is apparently starting. I was hoping that the person that told me about Edison midweek would have the team news for today, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. The thing is, I know Luke Shaw playing centre-back is obviously not as attacking, but he is taking some set pieces, and... he's quite good for bonus in that position. So if Man United are going to get a clean sheet, then he'd probably be quite up there with bonus. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think Newcastle get a clean sheet, so I probably should just play Shaw. It's just I feel like West Ham will score. I don't know, and then I'd rather have the attacking potential. Difficult to know. Start Tony over Jota for the security of a start. Yeah, I'd probably do that. 1 free transfer, Castagna to Ake, or play Shaw, Trippier, Trent. I would just play Shaw, Trippier, Trent, I think. I mean, Castagna to Ake is a good move, probably longer term. I don't think you need to do it this week. He did say he's got team news. He literally said, I'm told Haaland is starting. It's literally what he tweeted. I'm told Haaland starts today. Trent Elise and Watkins to Shaw, De Bruyne, Greenwood, 3-5-2 with Haaland and Isak up front. I don't think that's a great move, to be honest. No, there's nothing wrong with Watkins this week. I mean, De Bruyne is a nice differential. If you really want to go for De Bruyne, then fine. But having Trent and Watkins this week is perfectly good, I think. What are your predictions on Brighton versus Everton? Brighton didn't score in their last 2 home games against Everton. I'm thinking about benching my Brighton midfielders. I got no interest in doing that whatsoever. Like, last 2 home games against Everton, so presumably one of them was last year, right? I mean, it's different Brighton team. They're one of the best attacks in the league right now. Like, if you look at on a team level, expected goals per 90, Brighton are sitting 3rd. They're ahead of Liverpool, just behind Arsenal. Like, that is a very good attack going on there. And Everton are one of the worst defences in the league. Like, so I really wouldn't be putting too much emphasis on the last 2 home games, to be honest with you. And also, hang on a second. This is the home game for this season. So that means the other 2 were the previous 2 seasons, right? You can't be putting... like, completely different Brighton team, completely different Everton team. Tony and Grealish to Isak and Fernandes for a -4. I mean, yeah, unless we get... if Grealish starts, I wouldn't do that. Here's the question, though. Grealish owners, there was always a chance he was going to get benched over this period. I don't think it's necessarily going to be more than once, but there was always a chance. So what's the rush to get rid of him now? He's got a double coming up. And he's got Everton away next week. Best City mid to own until 38. Probably Grealish or De Bruyne, if you got the money. Honestly, this stuff about Edison missing out so Ortega can get a winner's medal is absolute nonsense, by the way. It's absolute nonsense, right? So the way the Premier League medals work, if you play 5 games, you definitely get one. So in the past, right, a long time ago, yes, sometimes players would get played to make sure they get a medal, but now the clubs just get a bunch of medals as well. So they'll get, like, every player that plays 5 games gets a medal, and then the club will get, like, I don't know how many it is, like 20 to 40 medals just to give around. So if Ortega only plays once and Pep wants to give him a medal, there'll be a medal there, right? So he doesn't have to play 5 games. Like, Man City are fighting for the league, They're not just going to start benching Ederson so Ortega can get a medal. Honestly. And by the way, Ederson might get benched because Pep might just prefer Ortega now. That's perfectly viable, but it ain't so they get a medal. Would you play Grealish over any of your midfield? I mean, yeah, probably. If he was definitely starting, I'd probably play him over everyone apart from Salah, maybe, I think. I don't know, would I really bench Fernandes on penalties or Rashford? I guess I'd start him over one of the Brighton boys, maybe, like Matoma, possibly. Because I think March definitely starts because he was benched last one. Aren't Man City selling Ederson? They might be, right? Like I say, I'm not completely confident Ederson starts against Leeds. I'm just making the point. It's not because of medals. Like that's not a thing anymore. The clubs just get given medals to hand out. If Alvarez starts and Haaland is bench, would you take a -4 for Trent and Greenwood to an Arsenal defender and Alvarez captain? Won't play Trent in 36, 37, also have Salah. I mean, if that's the kind of punt you want to make, I mean, it sounds okay. I mean, removing Trent for a -4 before a home game doesn't necessarily sound ideal to me, but I think getting an Arsenal defender back soon is not the end of the world. Missing Saliba's not great, though. March looked alright when he came on. I mean, I got to be honest, like, the Brighton midfielders have been fine for a long time, so I don't think anything's changed, really. A bit of rotation, of course, not great. They might lose a few more minutes as well, because Buonanotte and Enciso are playing well, but ultimately, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. Yeah, everyone's predicting a Grealish benching, and it could happen. I was a little bit surprised that he didn't get brought off earlier in the last 2 games, to be honest with you. Well, maybe not the... I guess the Fulham game was quite tight right up until the end, but still. Do you think I should risk Grealish starting or make a transfer to Mahrez or just play Watkins? Honestly, the thing is, if you're worried about whether or not Grealish starts, you can't be 100% sure that Mahrez starts. I think he probably will, but you can't be sure about it, so I would just play Watkins. Like, let's not forget, it wasn't very long ago that Watkins was almost seen as essential. So a game against Wolves away, if you need to play him, it's really not that bad at all. Like, I only got rid of Watkins last week to fund Trent. If I had 0.2 million more, I'd still have Watkins this week, and I'd absolutely be playing him. For sure. They made a change on the app which makes substitutions slow. Errored a few times as well. Oof. I think the only thing that's going to make FPL crash is if Haaland's not starting. If Grealish doesn't start, should I start Isak? Yeah, I think so. The thing is, I think it'd be unlikely that Grealish gets benched. Let's not forget, right? Leeds at home is a great fixture. I mean, Everton away is pretty good as well. So if Grealish does get benched, he probably plays against Everton, right? I mean, there is a chance, of course, that Foden plays Leeds, Grealish plays Real Madrid, Foden plays Everton, Grealish plays Real Madrid. That could happen, but Grealish could just play one or even both the games, right? So if you've got someone like Watkins, you just play him ahead of Grealish and have Grealish for Everton. I don't. Obviously, Man City versus Leeds is a great fixture. We're all expecting if Man City go and score 6 or 7 goals, we won't be surprised. But people seem to have pretty good squads, and they're like kind of panicking a bit with them, I think. I'm not getting that deep into Shaw versus Trippier, to be honest. We already know the details. Newcastle's a better defence than Man United. Man United have got the easier fixture. Trippier's more attacking. Job done. Do I expect Jota coming from the bench? I guess there's a good chance, yeah, but don't forget that he only got like 7 minutes in the last game. So he's not guaranteed to get like 20 to 30 minutes. If you're worried about FPL crashing because of Haaland news, make the captain switch now and just move it back before the deadline. I honestly, does anyone else just feel pretty confident? Well, I mean, I know Raptors literally said it, so there's a good reason to feel confident. But even before he mentioned Haaland starting, I was pretty sure he was going to start. There is a chance he gets benched, of course, either today or against Everton. But I don't know, he hasn't been benched yet for Champions League. And obviously this is the biggest game of the season, Champions League-wise, but Bayern Munich wasn't exactly nothing, right? If I had Jota, would I be transferring him out? I mean, I feel like Jota is just a transfer out soon, so I guess it depends who else you've got. Yeah, exactly. Haaland started both games before Bayern. I think he's probably going to play. I honestly think game week 35 is a dead game week. We've all had nothing to discuss this week. Most of us have got a squad which we can easily roll a transfer. We're all looking for something to do because we're bored, and the fact Man City play Leeds. And I think it's going to be a massive anticlimax, and the Man City team sheet is hardly going to affect anyone's plans whatsoever. And we're all going to captain Haaland. And then all next week is just going to be a discussion about which triple up on Everton and, should we get rid of any of our Brighton players? No, they've got a double game week. I think the only thing that makes 36 more exciting is that if you've rolled a transfer, you've got to use it. So you've got to find something to do it with. But I think game week 35 is just, I think it's a bit of a dead game week. You have to take risks in FPL, part of the game if a player starts or not. Yeah, absolutely. But if you know there's team news probably coming, you're going to act on it, right? Do you think I should risk Grealish? Oh yeah, triple captain Haaland this week. I don't think. I don't know. It's one of those tricky ones because if Haaland goes and scores a hat trick, it's not that surprising, is it? Really, it's Leeds. But I think I would use it on a double game week and probably just use it on Haaland in game week 37. It's just I know on paper it doesn't look good. Chelsea at home, Brighton away, but Chelsea not good right now. And I don't think they're probably as bad as the results have been, but Man City are much better. And then look how much Haaland bullied Brighton in the reverse fixture, right? So I honestly think I would triple captain Haaland in 37. By that point, the league is still going to be not over, and Champions League will also be done. I guess the only issue is if you wait until 37 and he gets injured, but I'd probably do that. If you just want to get rid of it and he starts this week, just go for it. Saka, Wilson, or Odegaard, got to start two of them. I mean, I'd start Saka and Odegaard. Someone, please tell me in the chat if you think I've got this massively wrong about Wilson, but I do not get... He's surely not going to start, right? Does anyone think he definitely starts this week? I feel like everything we've seen so far means you have to predict a benching. So if you've got him, you surely bench him because he's going to get benched. He's not going to keep coming off the bench and scoring goals. I just can't see it. As good as he is. Maybe he starts both of them this week, but I don't see it. I'd love to know... I know Neil from Fantasy Football Scout is a Newcastle fan. I'd be interested to see what he's done for the predicted lineup. He's got Willock, Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton, then Jacob Murphy, Isak, Gordon. If Gordon starts, Wilson will probably be on pretty early in the second half, I'd say. But yeah, don't get it. I just can't get behind... I kind of get Wilson next week because we're all expecting to get a start then off the bench in the other game. One of the games is Leeds. Completely get it. I feel like it's a very short-term thing. I think for this week, why would you transfer him in? He's bound to start in a single game week. Remember, Wilson was the first choice striker before. Yeah, maybe he was, but he's not. From everything we've seen, he's literally not the first choice striker now, right? He's just not. Isak has started every single game since game week 27, apart from the midweek games when there's been a quick turnaround. That's it. So he's not the first choice striker. He's literally not. I mean, that can change. He's playing so well and scoring so many goals that Eddie Howe might well play Wilson instead. But from everything we've seen, that's not going to happen, right? I don't know. Maybe I've got this massively wrong. Maybe Isak will get benched and next week I'm kind of panicking. Although then I guess Isak might get the Leeds game, so happy days. Bench one between Watkins and all three Brighton midfielders. I feel like what's my order of Brighton midfielders? I feel like you've got to play March because he's surely the most likely to start. I'd bench Watkins. I think all moves are short term. No, I get it, but like I feel like for Wilson, when I say short term, I feel like Wilson is only a good move for game week 36. That's it. Outside of that, could Isak start all the rest of the games? Maybe. The only thing I'll say is I don't think if you're going to go, I don't think it's a risk having double Newcastle attack over double defence. I'm not expecting a huge amount of clean sheets. I'm not really expecting more than one in the double, maybe even 0, right? So I don't think I don't think it's an issue. Yeah, I'll come back to the Watkins Brighton thing in a minute. I don't think it's an issue going for double attack, and I don't think in 35 and 36 you're necessarily missing out on too much, but you're still buying a player that's not nailed on. I don't get it. I don't get it. Not for this week, anyway. You're not benching penalty taker Watkins. Yeah, good point. The thing, I struggle to think about which Brighton midfielder to bench, though. I guess that's why I said all three. Because my instinct is you should bench McAllister, but then you're benching another penalty taker. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's between Mitoma and McAllister. I think I would bench I don't like benching penalty takers, but I think I would say McAllister. Start Martinelli or Watkins? Probably Watkins. Would you start Solanke or McAllister? Probably Solanke. If Grealish is benched, it means playing Shaw or Mings. Would you still roll and transfer out or Grealish? Well, only you can really decide that, right? If you do Grealish to Foden or Mahrez, absolutely great punt. What does that mean for game week 36? Does that stop you doing a different move? Are you then going to have to transfer them out? Is that a bit of a pain? They're the things to think about. If you want to keep Grealish long term, then you just bench and play Shaw. I don't think it's the end of the world. Watkins or Isak? They're pretty close this week, I think. I guess I would probably go Watkins slightly ahead just because he's nailed on probably for 80 to 90 and penalties. Whereas obviously when Wilson comes on the pitch, Isak's probably off penalties. He could get subbed earlier. It's a harder game. The only reason that would make me hesitate is that Isak's at home and Watkins is away. It's a little bit like the Trippier Shaw thing, but I think Watkins just ahead of Isak probably. Yeah, Wilson maybe has earned a start, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's one of these situations where everybody is talking about Wilson. Everyone's bringing Wilson in. Like the amount of transfers for Wilson ahead of Isak is crazy this week. Now I know Isak was already higher owned, so that's probably got a lot to do with it. But Isak's been transferred in by 112,000 managers, nearly 113,000. Wilson's been transferred in by 289k. And he's probably not going to start this week, right? I feel like it's madness. But you know what? Wilson's going to either start or come off the bench and score 2 more goals than Isak. So I'll look like the idiot. And that's fine. I'm well used to it. Mitoma, big rotation risk. Is he, though? Is he? Like, I don't know. I think we sometimes not overthink, but like we panic a bit too much, right? Brighton players have got a heavy fixture congestion coming up, and De Zerbi said a couple of things. First of all, he said Mitoma's tired. He's going to have to get used to playing every 3 to 4 days if he wants to play in Europe. Then he went and said he was tired again, right? And then he benched him. But now somehow we seem to take that as though they're going to get benched every other game now, which is just not going to happen, right? So, like, for March, that was his first... Like, March has started every single game apart from that one. And it's not like this is the first double game week that Brighton have had. They had doubles in 27 and 29, right? So, I think the idea that Mitoma... And I know that the players that have come in have done well. Like, Buonanotte on the right, etc., done well. But I just think this idea they're now going to get rotated every other game is just not going to happen. So I don't think they are as much of a rotation risk as everyone's making out. Overanalyze. I don't want to say overanalyze it. I mean, it's good to think about these things, but I think there's an over panic. Big Sam's going to play 4-4-2. They will definitely not concede any goals. Honestly, Leeds are rubbish. Big Sam is not the answer, I don't think, for 4 games. Like, whatever about Big Sam, I don't think any... Like, if Alex Ferguson took over Leeds, or Jurgen Klopp, or Pep Guardiola... Let's keep Pep at Man City, because obviously that's the team that's playing them. You know, Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, you know, Tuchel, Pochettino, Klopp, any of these managers come and take over Leeds, they're not keeping Man City out. They're not keeping Man City out. Leeds are too bad. Would be quite funny. The thing is, I don't even care if Haaland blanks, because everyone's going to captain him anyway. I think my bigger interest this week, honestly, is probably my Brighton players. I think Everton's such a good fixture. I think having Isak, which I hadn't originally planned for this week, is quite interesting as well. And so yeah, that's probably the more interesting part. And the fact that Fernandes is still going to be a big differential this week is good as well. Like, Fernandes has been transferred in by 60,000 managers. Like, Eze has been transferred out by 80... sorry, I'm talking about transfers in. Fernandes has been brought in by nearly 60k. Eze has been brought in by 82k. Grealish has been brought in by 117,000 managers. Odegaard been brought in 185k. Fernandes, we need another goal from you while you're still low owned. Will Lampard finish the season if they lose at Bournemouth? Honestly, I think he probably will. Because the thing for Todd Bowley is, if you sack Lampard, right, the one thing Lampard has, and it's not management expertise, it's the fact that he's a Chelsea legend, right? So the fans will just put up with it for the rest of the season because it's Lampard. I've not really seen too many Chelsea fans thinking that he should go. And if you do sack him, you've got 3 games still to deal with. You can't get anyone in for those 3 games. So I think you just leave Lampard there. Have a nice. Hope you're well. Jota to Isak or roll the transfer. So what's your forward line? Tony, Jota, Haaland. I don't think Jota starts. I really don't. So I think Jota to Isak's a pretty good move. I guess preferably you would save that move until next week, just to give yourself a little bit more thinking time over the Newcastle forward. But I think Jota to Isak is good in your case. But I think your bench is perfectly fine if you want to roll the... is it though? Who have Crystal Palace got? Spurs away. Nah, I'd probably do the transfer, I think. I really don't think Jota starts. I could be wrong. Yes, it is 1 hour till deadline. There's not many players I would start over Grealish if he's going to start today, but we kind of need that early team news. Oh, I need to... Start Solanke or Watkins. Like, I honestly, I feel like it's got to be Solanke at home. To Chelsea though, is that? I don't know. I guess I would probably go for the easy game and start Watkins. I think. I don't know. Like, I find with Chelsea, do I really think they're now that awful? Have they been a little bit unlucky? I think if I had Watkins and Solanke, I'd probably play Watkins. It's pretty close though. I could have that completely wrong. They are pretty bad. I know. Yeah, they are pretty bad. It is quite funny. Remember I said, like, when Lampard took over and he lost the first couple of games, wouldn't it be funny if they lost every game? And that could now happen, and that is very funny. I'm sorry, Chelsea fans. Nothing against you at all. I just think it's funny. Yeah, I think I probably would play Watkins. It's great. I've either got Edison in goal, who will concede from a Big Sam special in the 87th minute, or I've got Kepa coming on, who's got Bournemouth away, and I'm worried about how many goals he might concede. What a weird end to the season. Bench one of Watkins, Isak, and Matoma /March. I don't like these questions. Because I feel like Mitoma is ahead of March in terms of how good he is. But March literally just got benched. So you guarantee he starts this game. But I think Mitoma starts as well. I guess I'd probably bench March if you're sure that Isak starts. I'm pretty sure he will. But honestly, it's a horrible decision to have to make. It's a horrible decision to have to make. And I'm probably going against what I said earlier. Why no Arsenal players? Because they haven't had any double game weeks, so got rid of them now. Might get them back for 38 maybe. Tony to Isak planned for 36 anyway. I think you could just roll and just decide next week. I really wouldn't want to bench March for what it's worth. Burn a transfer, Watkins to Wilson, I own Isak too. You must have something else you can do other than burning a transfer. I don't think Watkins to Wilson is a good move this week. Is it just me or is FPL super boring at the moment and the double game weeks, which were once a massive leg up for the engaged, to blame? I think that this is always going to happen, right? You got Brighton, Man United, Man City all having multiple double game weeks. You're forced into going for a certain team. So yeah, this is always going to happen. And the thing is, the other teams that we need to target, like Newcastle, obviously everyone's held on for Trippier for ages. It was easy to hold Botman on the bench. So it's just been very easy to set up for this period. So yeah, it is a bit boring. I mean, my move, honestly, if there's no injuries and stuff like that, and there's no massive rotation worries, my moves could literally be roll in 35, Trent to Diaz in 36 to prepare for the double in 37. I would then get to game week 37 with triple Brighton, triple Man United, triple Man City, bearing in mind I've got Ederson, so he might not start. And then my move might even be just Trippier to a really cheap defender to get money for game week 38. So the next 3 weeks could be quite boring, but things can change pretty quickly in FPL. And if Ortega starts today, then that gives me something massive to think about what I do with the goalkeeper situation. So we'll see. Won't you want De Bruyne in for the City double? Maybe. I mean, it would be Diaz and Salah or Trent and De Bruyne. Roughly like that. So I don't know. I mean, De Bruyne is good. Preferably, I'll be forced into doing something else in 36, and so that I don't have to decide on my third City player until we get to game week 37. Because I would like to have the option to go for De Bruyne, but I think if I'm choosing between Diaz and Salah or Trent and De Bruyne, I'd probably take Diaz and Salah. Although when I say it out loud, not so sure. Anyway, like I said, that's a decision I don't want to have to make right now, and I preferably don't want to make it next week. Make it next week either. No early. Well, the only early team news so far is that apparently Haaland starts according to FPL Raptor. Remember, I haven't said that Raptor has. So if it's wrong, don't come to me. Do you have any City team news? If we got City team news, I'm telling you now, it'll get talked about a lot. Right? We're not all just sitting here not talking about it for the fun of it. Bench Tony or Martinelli? I would probably bench Martinelli. I think captain Salah or Haaland. Haaland start Ederson Steele. I think I would start Steele. I just worry that part of that decision is just how frustrating Ederson has been. And if Ederson picked up a couple of clean sheets in the last 4 to 5, would I still say Steele? Maybe not. So just be conscious of that bias. But I think Everton home is a really good fixture for a clean sheet as well. I don't know. I just still feel like Steele's more likely to get you bonus sale. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking rubbish. I suspect that Man City are probably the highest clean sheet odds this week. But I think I'd play Steele. And that is partly because Ederson's frustrated me. So, like I said, take that bias. Take it into account when you're making your final decision. Start Kanate or Shaw? I guess you go with the home game and start Kanate. I think. Probably not a huge amount in it, to be honest. In it. Although, to be fair, like, I guess with Shaw, he is still taking some set pieces. I'll probably go Konate. Is Foden a good choice? For 1 week, if he's starting, maybe, but we don't know if he's starting. Will De Bruyne start? I think he will, but I can't tell you that for sure. I would start Grealish over McAllister unless we know that he's benched, I think. I mean, I guess in those situations where it's Grealish versus like a Brighton midfielder, you could make the case that the Brighton midfielders are more likely to start. But again, Grealish has not been benched much at all. So I feel like we're setting ourselves up for like loads of rotation. I'm not sure there's going to be as much as we think. Are we forgetting Watkins has Spurs next week? Yeah, sure, but Spurs isn't such a good fixture I'd worry about keeping someone for. Like, I think most people, it's kind of short. It's kind of Watkins or a Newcastle forward next week. So, Sard, who to bench from Watkins, Solanke, Grealish, March, Matoma? Great question. Great question. Who knows? I guess if Grealish starts, I would bench March or Matoma. Because Watkins, Solanke, both penalty takers, aren't they? And Grealish has got leads. Play Kepa or Allison. Allison, I think. Let's talk about Lewis 1 week punt if he starts. I mean, sure, but like it's like any other Man City player, right? You're just having to sell him again the week after. And who are you selling to get him? Like, for me, I'd have to sell... I guess I could do Botman to Lewis, but and then bench Trippier and Shaw, but it doesn't feel that exciting, really. I guess because he would play in midfield, right? But... I don't know. Not for me, I don't think. I have a goalkeeper duo, Kepa Ray. I sense it's time to bring someone else in. Is there any better pick than De Gea? I mean, De Gea and Steele are probably the two you would look at, right? But I think Kepa and Ray is okay for this week. Oh, you got Nico Williams. Well, that's a bit different, I guess. Still using a transfer, though. I don't know. I think for most people, it's either a 1 week punt this week or 2 transfers in 38. I feel like that's how... It depends on how your team is set up, but I feel like that's what it is. Oh, freaking floor. I feel like that's how it is for most people. So is Rico Lewis better than a couple of transfers in game week 38? Probably not, I'd say. Again, though, I'm kind of quite locked into trying to have 2 free transfers in 38, so I guess I'm a bit biased. We might get early... I suspect we will get early Man City team news before the deadline. But when it'll be, I don't know. I mean, Raptors already tweeted that Haaland starts, so that's pretty good. Is my window shut? Nope. But I'm glad that I didn't put the washing out because it's raining. Thoughts on Gakpo? I like him. I think he starts this week. I think he's good for this week. Problem is, you can't guarantee starts for the remaining 4 games, so I just don't think I would move there. Damn, getting up at 5 a.m. to watch the content. Top 20k, very nice. What do you think of the chances Ortega starts? Well, there's a chance. I don't think it's that high, though. I think Edison will come back in. I think it's a big call by Pep to drop Edison 2 games in a row. You'd have to be absolutely sure that's the right decision. And look, Pep's not afraid of doing stuff like that, so maybe he will. I suspect Edison will start, though. Alex Moreno or Trippier or run the risk on Stones. I'd probably just play Stones, and I would probably have... Who have we looked at? Oh, Wolves away. Yeah, I'd probably have Moreno ahead of Trippier, I think. Just he's quite attacking. Obviously, it's better fixture. Bench one of Saka, Watkins, or Solanke. Oh my god, is it? They're all penalty takers. They're all penalty takers. I feel like we've just like completely forgotten about Saka because we've all kind of forgotten about Saka because a lot of us have sold him. I guess I'd bench Solanke. If Grealish is out, go Foden or to Bruno and save a free transfer. I quite like the Bruno move. But again, like if you're someone that's chasing or you're looking for that punt, there's not going to be many opportunities. Like 36 and 37 are double game weeks, but most people are so well set up for them. You're not going to be moving too many players about. So if you want to go for that punt, Leeds at home's pretty good. But you'd want to know Foden's definitely starting, right? Have 2 free transfers. Mac 10 to Matoma. Already have March. Or Rare to De Gea. I'd rather do Rare to De Gea because you're set. I don't see much use in switching Brighton midfielders around. And De Gea gets you a better fixture this week, and he gets you a double game week in 37. If Grealish doesn't start, is it worth transferring him out or benching? It depends. You want him long term. If not, get rid of him. But if you do, then just put him on the bench. If you've got a decent bench. Salah to De Bruyne or -4 to get them both in. I would just keep Salah probably and not take a -4. If you really want De Bruyne, I guess you just do. It depends what the -4 is, but you probably just do Salah to De Bruyne. But I would just keep Salah and keep your points, I think. Doon, doon, doon. Where is my in the know today? Well, that person where I got the Edison news from has only ever sent me one bit of news before that, and that was Liverpool news. So I wouldn't now be expecting news every single week. I just saw them message me about no Edison. I was like, nah, come on. And I looked back and realised there was a message that I missed. That said no, it basically said like no Salah, Trent or Van Dijk. And it said Firmino, Jota, Nunez up top. And like there was just too much right information there to be a guess. What rank am I hoping to finish? I guess I think top 10k is probably over unless I get a bit lucky. So top 20k would be good, I guess. Top 25 is probably fine. I've got to remember it was a pretty tough season for me for a large part of it. Like I didn't do well up until kind of game week 23. Oh, I'll tell you what though, when you get close to top 10k, all those times I captained Salah over Haaland, it's just like that's probably going to be the deciding factor in it. I know it's easy to say, yo, if I just done this, I would have been blah 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 blah. I get it, right? It's all hindsight, but there was so many times where I said. I think like 2 or 3 times I said, this is the last time I'm getting punished by Haaland. I'm definitely captaining him. And then I went back to Salah. I mean, that's what annoys me a bit. If I was just sure that Salah was the better option, happy days. But it just took me a little while to realise, yeah, Salah captain in the 9-0 against Bournemouth. Like, it wasn't a great start to the season at all. Start Martinelli or Isak. Ooh, probably Isak. Easy one for you. Bench headache. Kepa or Sanchez. I mean, it's got to be bench Sanchez, right? And Grealish or Watkins. I probably if we don't get team news, I'd probably just start Watkins. Differential captain Welbeck or Grealish. Probably rather go Grealish if he starts. But if you want to be... Oh, I don't want to say Welbeck. The thing is, Welbeck doesn't definitely start either, so probably Grealish. Is it worth bringing Diaz for Gakpo for a hit? I think you're just going from 1 minute's risk to another, so probably not. I would look elsewhere. Would you use your bench? Salah, from what I remember as well, Salah had 2 really good chances in that Bournemouth game. The only thing I'll say is, the Bournemouth game was it game week 3 or 4? It was game week 4. Was everyone captaining Haaland by that point? I think a lot of people were. And he got a hat-trick that week as well. Like, it was so brutal. The swings were so brutal. Like, I refuse to believe that captaining Salah was a bad choice just because Haaland got a hat-trick in a game that Liverpool won literally 9-0. Like, what can you do about that? That's just a bit of bad luck. And I'm not saying Salah deserved 17 points as well, but to get 3 points and a 9-0, oh my God, it was so bad. It was so bad. Don't remind me of those bad times. The Salah comments were brutal for so long. I think most people got blocked in the end. If Grealish doesn't start, does Grealish, Jota to Bruno, Isak from -4 sound good? I think it does for long term, yes. To be honest, if you've got no other bench options, you've got two. I think Bruno, I've said this for a while now, I think Bruno is better than Grealish. Like, if I'm picking between the two from now to the rest of the season, I'm picking Fernandes. So I quite like that -4. If Grealish doesn't start. Of course you admire me for sticking by Salah. That meant you got to go up the ranks while I went down. It's a late deadline today. I'm in Calgary, Canada for work, and your stream started at a very reasonable 5 a.m. Oof, ouch. That's dedication to the cause, that is. 5 a.m. deadline start. For anyone that's got Watkins, there's not many players I would transfer into this week. I think you just put, like, I don't see much use in using a transfer on Watkins to ease that. It feels like a move for next week that you could just do next week instead. Who's going on the wall this season? Probably no one. Did we not put anyone on last season? I can't remember. I think we did in the end. Depends. I don't know. Castagna, people weren't really too sure about Castagna. If Grealish doesn't start, Grealish could just start though. He might just start. I think people think I get team news that I don't. Honestly, that's the first time I've had Man City news about Ederson. So I really wouldn't be expecting it right now. Not from me anyway. Yeah, Ward was a bit of a legend. Ward was a legend. He went on the wall though. He went on the wall. Would you bench Jota for Tony? I would play Tony ahead of Jota, yeah. To be honest. Lads, come on. You know, if there's team news, it'll be everywhere. It'll be everywhere. I'll be talking about it. I'm not just ignoring it. It's Man City. It's huge. I think Dalot looks pretty good for starts at the moment. Yeah, he's either going to play left back or right back. That seems to be the way anyway. I'm not sure I would say I'm 100% confident about it for the rest of the season, but it does look pretty good at the moment. Like, Malacia just seems to be a little bit out of favour. And even if Malacia does play, it could be Dalot. I tweeted about it the other day, right? I think I've played... Oh, I can't remember what it is now. I mean, don't get me wrong. This season has not been all bad luck at all. Let me see if I can find it though. Oh yeah. So this is on April 25th. So I said Leicester sit 18th for clean sheets this season. They only got 6, right? I've played a Leicester goalkeeper or defender in 10 game weeks this season. Bearing in mind how bad that defence is, I've played a defender. I've played Ward 9 times, and I've played Castagna once. And I've got 61 points, 6.1 points per game on my Leicester defenders. That is such massive luck. Because I had Ward played from 9 till 16. They just kept getting clean sheets. It was mental. And the thing is, I still got loads of red arrows at that time. So even those lucky moves are not necessarily all you need for a green arrow. You should only give the team news if you get to 340k. No, I don't want to be one of those people that, like, don't get me wrong, I want subscribers, right? I want to get to 340k. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. But I'm not gonna start plugging team news for subscribers. Like, if I get the team news, I'll share it. Like, I'm not saying I would necessarily share it straight away because I don't like doing it too far away from the deadline. It just doesn't seem right. But I don't have any news, by the way. I just don't have any news. Is more to the point. Do 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 do. No, if I still had Watkins, I would not bring in a Newcastle forward this week. I would keep Watkins and decide next week. Would you go for Jesus or Solanke? I think I'd go Solanke. Sounds, again, crazy. I think Grealish to Rashford's a like if Grealish starts, I don't think I would do Grealish to Rashford this week. Have Edison, Haaland and Stones. Should I sell Stones this week for another defender so I can bring in another City midfielder in the next double game week? I mean, yeah, maybe if you've got a midfielder you want to sell, but I'd maybe just keep Stones, to be honest. Kane captain punt. I think if you're going to go for a punt, then you could definitely make worse choices than Kane. Again, I think it's a bit like Arsenal midfielders, right? We've kind of forgotten about Kane a little bit because a lot of us have sold him, but it's Crystal Palace at home. Perfectly good fixture for him. Fernandes or Martinelli, who'd start? I mean, it's got to be Fernandes, right? Guaranteed to start, penalties, etc. Loz, few too many last night and Rage transferred in Alvarez and Dallo for a -4 apparently. So much for on the transfer. Ouch. Well, you know, it could go well. I don't know if Alvarez is going to start, though. I've got a feeling it's going to be De Bruyne and Haaland. Would you bench Jota for Trippier? I think that's tougher because what if Jota starts? But I don't think he will. Salah and Gakpo are starting this week, right? Does anyone think that's not happening? And then it's just one spot. And if Jota's got these back issues, he can just play Diaz or more likely Nunez. So I would probably play Trippier ahead of Jota, as boring as that sounds. My 11-year-old asked me to keep him updated on the deadline stream because he's busy over in Spain. So he's living in the life in Spain. You've got to watch this rubbish. That doesn't seem like a fair deal. Yeah. Anyone that free hit De Bruyne in last week and didn't have a good sub, it would be annoying if he started today. Havertz for Jota, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know which way around that is, whether you're bringing in Havertz or Jota. I guess you're bringing in Havertz, but I mean, he's like, I don't think Aubameyang is going to start again. So presumably Havertz will start, but it ain't a guarantee, right? I guess I would prefer to have Havertz than Jota this week. So I do think Jota doesn't start. I feel like I'm a bit too confident on Jota not starting, and that could go wrong. Would you do Martinelli to a Chelsea midfielder as a punt? I mean, probably not. Probably not. Like Mudryk, something like that, maybe. I just think Chelsea are a bit all over the place. There's no... Like, how many games has Mudryk started recently? Like, I mean, it depends how much money you got to spend as well. Like Sterling, 9.7 million. Started the last 3 or 4. Is he going to start again? Hard to know. Too expensive. Mudryk, 6.5 million. Maybe. I just wouldn't be worried about putting... I'd much rather go for a punt on a Man City midfielder than Chelsea, to be honest. By a long way, I think. Have Jota and De Bruyne. Should I transfer one or roll? I mean, you could do Jota out if you've got no good bench. I think with De Bruyne, I would just hope for a start. Ram, bench one, March, Isak, Watkins. Thing is, if Isak starts and Wilson doesn't, he's on penalty, so you've probably got to bench March. I think I'd probably bench March. Alfred, how is it going? Grealish, Mahrez, Rashford, Matoma, Salah. No transfers used. This looks alright. Grealish to Mac 10. I would keep Grealish unless he doesn't start, to be honest. All I would say for Grealish owners is make sure you know where you're going if we get team news that he doesn't start. Because I feel like that seems to be the big one for today that people want to know about is Grealish. I'm less worried about Edison because presumably if Edison doesn't start, he's not going to play, right? Bench Odegaard or Jesus? I I quite like Odegaard, to be honest. I mean, Jesus should probably start, though. I say Jesus. I say Jesus. I don't know, though. It's quite. I'm actually not sure where I land there. March was electric against Man United. Are you still comfortable benching March? I'm not benching March for what it's worth, and I wouldn't want to be benching him. But people have got for them annoyingly good squads. Start Shaw or Chilwell. I'd probably still get sucked in and start Chilwell, I think, if I had him. I'm probably rolling the transfer, yeah. I'm not sure about Trippier or Shaw. I'm quite unsure about that still, which isn't good because we've only got half an hour left. I'm gonna actually. Do you know what? I'm gonna put up a poll. Let's see what the people think. Because a lot of people out there must have Trippier and Shaw. I feel like this is quite a common benching scenario this week. Assume Alvarez starts. Would you do Jota to Alvarez or Isak? Well, again, I would probably want to go to Alvarez, but it depends what that changes for me over the next few weeks, right? Again, I still probably prefer double 2 transfers in 38 to get an Alvarez this week. So probably Isak, but it really depends on the next few, right? It depends on your team, etc. Sammy, thank you very much. Mohit, worth bringing in Sancho this week. No money for Bruno. Sancho's just not nailed, so probably not. Like if Martial plays, Rashford plays left, Anthony plays right. Sancho's not in the team usually. So I wouldn't go for Sancho. Like I really want it to work at Man United and him to get a run of starts, etc. But it's just. I mean, he could well start this week, and Martial drops out again, and maybe Rashford plays up front. But it's not guaranteed by any stretch. Mitoma or Solanke Dunk. I'd probably play Solanke ahead of Mitoma, I think, or Mitoma or Solanke / or Ming / Steele or Martinez. Wait, what? What is this? I'm so confused. Mitoma or Solanke / Dunk or Ming / Steele. So a defender and a goalkeeper, or a forward and defender, or a goalkeeper. You've lost me there. I've got to be honest. Dylan, I'm lost with what you mean there. Team news in 20 minutes. Oh, I'd love to get it before then. He's going to put up a video. He's going to put up a video that everyone's going to have to watch. Yeah, there you go. We're going to get team news in 19 minutes. He's not going to release the whole team, though. I don't think he ever does. So it's going to probably be Harden and Grealish news. Mostly. Oh my god. Melier bench. It'd be funny if he just releases Lee's news, to be honest. Oh wow, Melier dropped. Interesting. I mean, Sam Allardyce did say that he was going to have to look between goalkeepers, right? Start one of Trippier, Ake, and Mings. I'd probably just start Ake, I think, and hope he starts. Watkins, Isak, or Mitoma play 2. Watkins and I guess Isak play 2, and Trippier or Mings. I don't know. It's away from home for Mings. No real attacking threat, although he did score recently, I guess. I'll say Trippier. I'm not sure, though. All right, Andy, coronate this. Also, do you think Grealish will start today? And if not, do you think it's worth buying Isak a week early and playing him? Yes, if Grealish is benched. I don't know if he's going to be benched. Come back at 120 and hopefully we'll find out. Arjun, thank you very much. I think Grealish is... I think I'm more confident about a De Bruyne start than I am a Grealish one, but I could be massively wrong about that. Like, massively wrong. De Bruyne to Bruno or roll. I'd probably roll. Is there any possibility of Haaland not starting? I mean, there's a possibility, but Raptor already said he's starting, so hopefully he is. Decision made, no Man City players from next season other than Haaland. My season has been an ode to Man City players screwing me over, and bold man roulette can ruin your season. True that. Which two to start? I was Saka, Watkins and Isak. Probably Saka and Watkins. 3 different decisions. The slashes are to separate. Oh, right, okay. So Mitoma or Solanke? Solanke. Dunk or Mings? Dunk. Easy. Steele or Martinez? Steele. Right, okay, got it. Sorry. Obviously, I'm just an idiot. Start Kepa or the legend Steele. Steele's easy there, I think. Bench one of Wilson, Bruno, March or Mitoma. I mean, I would bench the guy that's probably not going to start. So I'd bench Wilson. And okay, I won't read that out just in case there's any coronation lovers in here, but thank you, Josh. Bench one of March, Isak, Alvarez. Isak, no, March, unless we find out Alvarez isn't starting. The thing is, even if we find out like Haaland starts, Grealish doesn't massively help us because De Bruyne and Alvarez are the ones you really need, right? Like, Haaland starting does not mean that Alvarez does or doesn't start. You need De Bruyne as well. Either way, I don't think I'm getting any news here, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd love to give it out. If I get news, I'll give it out at 119. Why not? I don't think Melier bench is really that big of news, really. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, and also subscribe. We are 404 subscribers away from 340k. I'd love to hit that before the end of the season. I'd love to hit it before the Game Week 34 deadline. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. What makes you think Wilson won't start? Well, my question would be, what makes you think he will? Like he's only started 2 games in the last however many, and they were both quick turnarounds. So I'm not saying he definitely cannot start, but it looks unlikely, right? He started Everton and West Ham. So he started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He started 2 of the last 9 games. So I feel like the burden should be on people who think he's going to start to explain why, really. I think if you're making a decision this week, it has to be Isak over Wilson. But could that be wrong by 36? Maybe. Start March or Isak? I'd probably start Isak, I think. Penalties without Wilson. If Wilson isn't starting. For anyone that's looking for Man City news, apparently it's coming at 120. If Grealish is bench, start Trippier instead. If you're not going to sell Grealish, then yeah. Start Solanke and bench Trippier, a good idea. Yes. Start Tony or Isak. Probably start Tony, I think. I wouldn't worry about whether you use Twitter or Instagram. Like, that news will be everywhere very quickly after it's posted. So don't panic. Don't panic. Melier dropped. Massive news, that. Massive news. That's a big call from Sam Allardyce, I guess, to come in and just drop the goalkeeper. There are some people that have like messaged me Man City news, but there is no way of at all of judging if it's legit. So one of them has 0 followers. So you could be correct, but I'm not gonna share it. Oh, that's not good. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'm definitely not getting. I've just the account that sent me. Oh, yeah, the account that sent me the news before. I've just looked at it. It looks very unlikely that they're going to be sending me any news today, unfortunately. So we're going to have to wait till 1:20. I'd love to get it and just post it. Steel or Estepinian for the rest of the season. I feel like Steel gives you... for example, if I had Steel, it means I wouldn't be so pushed into having to sell Trent. Whereas in 36, because I'm going to want to play Estepinian, I'm going to have to bench Trent because I've got Edison in goal. So I think without giving it a huge amount of thought, I'd rather have Steel. What other games are at 3 today, by the way? Bournemouth, Chelsea, Spurs, Palace, Wolves, Villa. Okay. Quite spread out this week. There's games on Monday as well. There's 3 games on Monday because it's a bank holiday. Rare to Edison or just start Kepa. I would just start Kepa. I would not. This is not the week to be buying Edison. Oh yeah, if he posts at 1:20 that Haaland is Haaland's bench, that will cause issues. But Raptors already said he's starting, so that should be enough, right, for most people. Do 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 do. Who to start, Kepa or Ray? I would definitely start Kepa, I think. Is Kyle Walker good till 38? No, I don't think so. I don't think his guarantee starts all those games. Bench 1, Isak, Saka or Watkins. Probably Isak. Scott, 2 free transfers. Tony to Isak and Maddison to Gakpo. I think Tony to Isak's okay. I don't think you need to do it this week. And Maddison to Gakpo is quite short term. I mean, Gakpo might get like 2, probably 3 of the last 4 starts. Leave my wife or try and stay and try and work things out. Probably stay and try and work things out, I would say. Although I'm hoping that's not a serious question. Ooh. Do, 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 do. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Haaland starts. Haaland starts. That's so weird. I don't know if the person's watching, but I was just... Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to work out whether it was hang on. So Twitter's being a bit weird. No, have you... Oh, no, nothing, no... Twitter... Sorry, you have to watch me type now. Edison 6 point. No, nothing about Edison. Nothing about Edison, genuinely. Do. Oh, some people don't have sent me some rubbish. There's no other news. No other news right now, genuinely. I'm not going to tell you everything I'm saying and reading. Like that's between me and them, right? People who send stuff don't want everything getting out. I just said, is it the same person that said that Edison was benched? They said yes, so it's pretty good. It looks pretty good. Right. Sorry, people. I wouldn't bother sending any more super chats now because I'm going to be stuck on team news for the next 15 minutes. -12 to bring in Estepinian, Fernandez, and Isaac. Maybe it depends who you're selling. Start Edison or Kaylor. You Champions League winner or dud. I start Edison. Bench one from Matoma, March, Slanky, Watkins, Matoma. No. I guess March. Bench one from Matoma, March, Slanky, Watkins, same. Saka or Odegaard out for a City mid. Odegaard, best Jota replacement if I have 3 City. Probably a Newcastle forward. Bank the free transfer. This is for Wacker 24. Steele, Trent, Fernandez, Mitch. Yeah, probably just roll. Do. The best cereal. I haven't had Crunchy Nut cornflakes for a lot. Actually, do you know what? I used to love clusters. I don't have anything else right now. I'm waiting to see if he comes back. He just said to me, I don't get sent the full lineup or anything, so he's asking for more news. I have to say, right, I don't know if this person's listening, but fair play if you are, because there was an issue on Twitter. I won't say any more than that. And I think fair play for them for getting in touch. That's all I'm going to say. Golden Nuggets. Maybe, yeah, maybe. If Edison's bench, if Edison's bench, I'll just play Kepa. But otherwise, I'm just going to play Edison and let Kepa come in. Ooh, baby. You still have wheat. Right, we can't talk about cereal this close to a deadline, which includes Man City. Dream scenario: Grealish bench and Alvarez starts. Everyone's been talking up Alvarez, but the thing is, if Haaland starts, you need De Bruyne out to worry to think that Alvarez is going to start, and we just don't know. I am checking though to see if there's any more. I really wouldn't send any more super chats or anything now because I'm kind of distracted, which I know is not good. Frosted shreddies are the goat. Do you know what? My son had chocolate shreddies a couple of months ago. They were really good. What's going on? I've just finished work. We've got a whole day to enjoy yourself now. If you're on like UK time or whatever. Okay, apparently, here's the only other news that I have. Grealish is not in the starting 11. That's all I have. You're going to ask me about Edison, De Bruyne, Stones, Ake? I don't know. Apparently, the same person that told me Edison was benched and also told me that Rice and Soucek were going to be benched as well, by the way. I just didn't really post about that. Says Haaland starts, no Grealish. That's all I've got. That's all I have. I promise you, unless I get sent anything else, that is it. So you can ask me about De Bruyne and Edison and anyone else. I do not know. Presumably Foden starts, but I don't know. Non-Grealish owners stand up. Oh, Edison, he's in. Okay, just messaged me. Edison's in apparently. Edison's fine. Why am I so happy about Edison? He's going to freaking lose the clean sheet. Edison's going to lose the clean sheet. Yeah, honestly, I think if you're a Grealish owner with a good bench, this is not the end of the world. You just bench him and have him for 36. I really don't think it's the end of the world. Now we get to. Whoa, what have I done here? Now we get to lose the clean sheet again. Whoa, I've messed up my stream. Does Shaw count as a good bench? I don't think he's that bad. I actually need to decide between this. Why am I still stuck on stupid decisions like Shaw versus Trippier? Also, by the way, I forgot we put a poll up. 11,500 votes, and they said Luke Shaw. I might just go with the people. Trippier or Grealish first sub? I feel like you go for Trippier. I don't know about Alvarez. I don't know about Alvarez. Grealish to Foden. I think again, if you want to do, I don't know if Foden starts, right? But if he does, then he's a good 1 week punt. But other than that, who knows? De Bruyne starts as well, yeah. De Bruyne starts. The guys messaged me that. Oh, and Mahrez plays as well, apparently. Yeah, Mahrez plays, apparently. Cheese, onion, and sandwiches starting. Yeah, apparently Mahrez starts. That's it, though. I don't have anything else. Like, I'm not just trying to. I'm not dripping this to anyone. That's just how I've been sent it. And the person who sent it to me said, Edison plays, De Bruyne plays, Mahrez plays, and now I'm out. So there's going to be no more. There's going to be no more news now. There's going to be nothing else. So yeah, that's it. That's it. Do 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 do. Do, do, do. Yeah, Edison starts, so that means now we know Edison starts. That means we can lose our clean sheet. At what minute is Leeds going to score? Put in the comments what minute Leeds are going to score. Wow, there's 18,500 people watching. I wish Man City were playing early every single week. By the way, we're close to 340k now subscribers. We need less than 300. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please do hit subscribe. First minute, can you imagine? At least that would put us out of our misery. At least that would put us out of our misery. I guess they can't. I guess they won't. I haven't got anything else. And I've not watched the video, so I don't know if there's anything else there. I'm looking on other stuff. No balls, you Captain Salah. Nope, no balls at all. I'm a Haaland man now. I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch the video. Someone's already kind of told me what's in it. I'm just not interested. Like, great that the guy's got news for us, but I don't want to watch the video. Certainly not something I'm going to play on stream anyway. I've been warned. March start, presumably will. How many more subs out from 340k? I'm glad you asked. We are 229. Definitely doable. There's enough people watching. Which, by the way, thank you very much. Make sure to hit like if you've enjoyed it as well. You should give the stream a like for non-complicated team news. Can I recap the leak? So apparently Haaland, Mahrez, De Bruyne and Edison are starting and Grealish isn't. So it's basically what most of us thought it would be, right? But I've got no idea about Alvarez. Alvarez might be starting. It might be that it's De Bruyne and Haaland and Alvarez, but I don't know that. I don't know that. So I'm not like Pep did mention starting Alvarez, Haaland, and De Bruyne together. So this might be the week, but it's hard to know for sure. It's hard to know for sure. Elvin Chu, 8 months member. Thank you very much. Watching from Singapore. Start 2. Grealish, Isak, Tony, Trippier or Akanji. Isak and Tony probably. Ewan, sell Gakpo for Bruno or Grealish. Bruno, bench 1. March between Martinelli, Wilson, Darwin. Wilson probably, 'cause he's probably not going to start. Then again, Martinelli might not start either, but I'll say Wilson. I better just clarify on Twitter that I hang on. All right, am I starting Trippier or what? What did the poll say? The poll said Luke Shaw, didn't it? The poll said Luke Shaw. I'm going to start Trippier. I'm going against the poll. I'm going to regret that, aren't I? It's going to be another 2-pointer for Trippier. Oh, you're on Shaw. Oh. Shaw was my initial instinct, so I've basically changed to Trippier. I am unsure. Alright. You got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds. We're going again. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it to the poll. Okay. I'm starting my countdown now. My watch ain't working. You got 20 seconds. You got 20 seconds, then we're taking it. We're taking whatever you put. Deep down, though, I hope it goes one way or another. How many people are watching? There's enough people watching to get this poll in. Okay. Okay, we'll swap. We'll swap. Alright, points. Pick team. The people have made. I was originally unsure anyway. I don't know though. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not completely happy. Okay, we're ending the poll. We're ending the poll. Yeah, away from home. West Ham probably scored. Shaw's not going to get any clear. I don't know. It's done now anyway. We're locked in. We're locked in. I guess Shaw's probably going to be a little bit lower owned as well. Like that's kind of why I played Isak last week and got away with it. But you can't keep getting away with it. But surely Arsenal will score. You've been on Shaw all week. Try not to make decisions on deadline days all year. Yeah, probably the best way. Right. Well, in the end, Game Week 35 was a little bit interesting in the last 20 minutes of the deadline, I guess. But that's about it. All right. Hopefully the king of FPL, Mo Salah, does well later. Hopefully Fernandez absolutely smashes it. Thanks for. By the way, what subscribers are we on? Oh, 193 left. We're not going to get that. I am listening to Gravel Pit. Yeah, was I humming it a bit? 193. I'm not going to sit here pushing it until the stream, but we hopefully get that before the deadline. Before the end of the season. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Oh, what? No way. Oh, no. No other news. No other news. Nope. No other team news. Why all the doo-doos? It's irritating. Yeah, anyway, probably is a bit annoying. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure to give the video a like if you haven't already. Hit subscribe as well. That would be much appreciated. I will be back on Sunday. There's 3 games on Monday, right? But I think from an FPL point of view, the only real interesting one is Brighton versus Everton. Some people might still have Maddison, but most people don't have Fulham, Leicester, Southampton or Forest players. So really Brighton is the key. So I think I'm still going to stream on Sunday. I'm going to take Monday off, then we'll be back to it from Tuesday. I think that's fair, right? I think if I can take the Monday off, why not? So that's the plan. Good luck this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Pleasure as always. Give the stream a like if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe. Enjoy your Saturday, and I will catch you on Sunday. And I will end the stream when I can find my end stream button, which I've lost because I've got the wrong tab open. I'll just keep talking to plug here while I go. Goodbye.